Beneficiaries of the Estina Dairy Farm project in the Free State are expected to meet with the Hawks today. Several high-ranking politicians have been implicated in the scandal. We now cross live to ENCA reporter Michael Apple. Michael, thank you so much for joining us. You've told the heartbreaking stories of these intended beneficiaries who were promised so much and given nothing. Are they a step closer to justice after this meeting with the Hawks today? What will happen?
Yeah, I think it's 5 years at least in the making, and the intended beneficiaries have started gathering at the Vrede police station for that 11 o'clock meeting with the Hawks. And I'm going to step out a shot and allow Sanwabo to just bring you the faces of the people that have gathered here. These are people that have been forgotten and not heard from and ignored for far too long by the provincial agriculture department, by the Premier's office. These are people that have been begging for answers to the promises that were made to them in 2013. This empowerment project, the Estina Dairy project, these are all emerging farmers that were promised that they would get a slice of the 100 million rand that was supposed to be set aside for the intended beneficiaries. That promise made, we were told, by Dr. Radebe. He was a former councillor in the municipality here in Mpumalanga. That promise made by the then MEC for Agriculture in the Free State, Mosebenzi Zwane. They will be the first to tell you they have not seen a cent of that 100 million rand. They were supposed to each get 5 cows. Many of them were encouraged before this project got underway to sell their cattle, send them to slaughter because their cows would be replaced with dairy cows. So a lot of these people left destitute after that, a lot of them trying to just eke out a living. So as the crowd starts to swell here outside the police station, there's definitely a sense of anticipation that perhaps today they're going to be getting some answers.
Now, speaking of that anticipation, Michael, we know that the Hawks yesterday said they have an announcement that will shake up the country. Just talk us through what kind of shake-up we can expect at this meeting today. With the search and seizure that happened yesterday, what kind of announcement do you think we can expect from this meeting?
Well, I think there's an anticipation that for far too long the Hawks have seemed to be sitting on information. And a lot of people have been commenting about the fact that there now seems to be a courage and a will to act within our law enforcement agencies. And I don't think we can sugarcoat this. There's been a change in leadership at the top of the ANC, Cyril Ramaphosa taking over. He's promised action within 6 months that corruption will be dealt with. I think what we're seeing play out in the Free State here is a culmination of those promises and a directive perhaps that the institutions of the state seriously need to take people into their confidence now and start to act against years and years of allegations of corruption. And the raid on the offices of the Premier yesterday in the Agriculture Department and the meetings with the community here, I think it's important for the Hawks who've been battling a PR disaster because of a lack of action, sitting on information, sitting on cases, sitting on dockets, that they need to manage a very positive message. They don't need to just be acting, they need to be seen to be acting. And I think the raid on the offices yesterday, and I think this meeting with the community today will go a long way into repairing those bridges and repairing that PR image.
Now, Michael, there were some concerns earlier that someone was trying to hide farm equipment. Do you have any updates on what's happening on that front?
Well, we heard last night from Ephraim Dlamini that the Vrede Dairy Farm, which is no longer run by Estina, it is now run by the Free State Development Corporation, that as the asset forfeiture unit goes there and is trying to recoup money to make up that 200 million rand that went to this project that then disappeared to private individuals, they're going there to try and seize the assets of that farm to be able to recoup that money. So allegations that some of the cows that are on that farm, there's said to be 550 cows.
Yes.
That from the NSPCA who did a site visit there. And some of the farming implements and the equipment was dumped in the town yesterday and just left unattended. That was last night at 7 p.m. When we went there this morning at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, that was all gone. It's one of the consequences of talking on live television, but that farming equipment was gone. So the police, I think, are following up on a case of stock theft which was laid against the farm when some of the cows were tried to be sold off. The community members here saw that, reported it to the police.
Thank you so much for that update. That's where we're going to have to leave it. That was ENCA reporter Michael Apple giving us